Hi, beautiful human. I'm Zach. That's Dan. And welcome to the studio for the very first time. Baby No Money.
Yo.
Thanks for having me. It's great. I'm here with Kitty, so I'm stoked to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Have you always been a baby with no money? Or what? Do you remember the time you actually acquire money? I feel like you've had money, though. You're a competitive swimmer.
See, it was like an expensive sport for my family. I was obviously like being raised in Vancouver, and most people who live in Vancouver are pretty like well off in a sense. And my dad was like, he's from Sudan. So I'm Armenian Egyptian, and he was just like, his basis of life is like make enough money to support a family kind of thing, and that's been distilled in me. So from the get-go, I've always just been like, as long as I have money, as long as XYZ. So that's why my name is Baby No Money, is because I have like a deeply emotional, traumatic experience with having my dad's kind of perception on what money is for, like ingrained into my soul. So I'm a cheap person at heart. Having money when I was growing up, I mean, I had like a $20 allowance until I was like 20 kind of thing. But it was interesting because I was always homeschooled, so I had a very tight relationship with my family, and I didn't really need money because we would just do things together.
Yeah.
But it was never a thing where we were like going to do things easily kind of thing, if that makes sense. It wasn't like, oh, let's buy a new car or like this or like that.
Yeah, nothing. It was always like a big buildup. Like
it was
a
a buildup.
vacation, do
like,
a big purchase, of course.
My $20 a month went to my World of Warcraft subscription. So, and then I had about $5 left to buy like 5-cent candy when I was playing on the weekends.
So are you still cheap today?
Oh yeah, I'm cheap as hell.
What's been the hardest thing you've had to spend money on? The private jet you planked in front of?
It was not me. I would not buy a private jet.
Have you never chartered a jet ever?
No, fuck that. It's a waste of money.
But you're always on the road.
Well, yeah. So just recently, I've gotten to a point where I'm like, all right, my neck hurts because I fly economy so much that like occasionally anything past 6 hours of flying, I will potentially level up my flight. Like that's where that.
And you just started doing this?
I just started doing that, yeah.
But you've made good money.
I have fine money.
I don't know. You have a couple of hits, brother.
Yeah, a couple big songs, but I guess it's not as much as you think because I'm fair with my producers. I give my producers like large chunks of my songs where a lot of musicians don't, and I'm independent, so it's like I'm sharing the wealth, I guess, in that sense. If I owned every single dollar of every single stream that I had, I would be 4x richer, probably.
Can you explain to me what it means exactly to be fair with producers? Because you are an independent artist, and you're right, you do have the ability to own all of it. And I have personal close friends who are independent artists who have like a brother trio that literally has made everything, just the three of them, from the beginning of their career. So they not only have made it all, they own absolutely every part of it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very interesting. It's also incredibly rare. So
I guess it's just like I live in a space where I grew up listening to like EDM and like understanding that production is really what sells. And I've always been more interested in like for instance, when I mix my own vocals in my songs, I like keeping it ducked. I don't like it being super prominent because I don't really have much to say. I have a lot to say, but I don't really have much to say. And I know sometimes I'm like funny, I'm witty, blah, blah, blah. But it's like I want the beat to shine too. I've always, if you listen to my production, a lot of the beats are like, they have weird small intricacies and small little ear candies and like pieces of that like excite the listener while listening to the music. And that's something that I really focus on. So it's like, if I want my producers to want to work with me and want to like grow together and get better and have like a emotional investment in my project, that they'll be like, oh yeah, I want to make a song for Baby No Money because I love making music with him because he's fair. And it's like, if we're doing it together, why wouldn't it just be fair anyway? I don't know. I've always just had that complex where it's like, if they're making the beat, it's really like 50% of the song anyway on the publishing. So it's
is
like,
that how you split it?
Yeah, most of the time. Like Lalala was 50-50 right down the middle with Y2K. And that song is definitely
huge hit.
Yeah, it was a big one. And
but
then,
in that moment, you had the benefit of Columbia Records being behind Y2K and backing it. I remember playing that song on the radio. I remember Y2K coming by the studio to push it. He did a bunch of radio promos.
Yeah, he's a funny guy. We're making an album right now, actually. But it's interesting because it's like he's rich as shit because of that song. We both are. You know, it's like it's beautiful. And a lot of the time I've just like, you know, you always see like the producers tweeting like, yo, be fair with your producers kind of thing. And it's just like, I was like, if we made this song together, why wouldn't he just have 50% of it?
He got rich even though he ended up going to Columbia with it?
Well, yeah, he took it to Columbia and signed a massive deal.
So, okay, but how many from there? Do you look at that situation and do you learn in any way, right? Like he signs a massive deal, but he's also stuck within the Columbia system. He's stuck within the label system. He now is probably locked to them for more than just that one song, I would assume.
Yeah, I don't really know the intricacies of his deal that much, but I do remember this was right around the time that labels just had no fucking idea what was going on. Totally. And they were like, throw money. So
literally, I mean, I can make the case that like from 2019 to around 2022, 2023, we see more one-hit wonders than we've seen in culture and music than we've seen in a long time.
Yeah. Oh, it's nuts. I mean, like, look at TikTok in this day and age. Also, TikTok today, just supposedly the bill was passed by Biden.
Yeah.
You guys see that shit?
Yeah.
It'll be a year from the time that it's actually passed because he's going to sign it into law, but it's a year where somebody else can come in and buy that app.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different ways that can go. But also at the same time, like when TikTok was at its most musically relevant, right? In a way that was dictating the music industry in a way that I'd never seen before. I really... From the outside looking in, you'd think Y2K was one of the other people who got signed off of one song, and the ability to back that sucker up is going to be quite difficult. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it's the case with him because he was doing it for a long time before. He's been working at this for fucking ever, and he's an incredible fucking artist.
Yeah, he's a great producer.
But if you look to his right and left, all the other people that got signed in that era, most of them have never released another fucking song, or they have, and it's fallen to deaf ears. Like, It's crazy. I've never seen anything like that before, and we've been doing it for 17 years.
Well, I think it's just like off the premise of these people were just throwing, like the labels were throwing bags, like money, like really stupid money, and now they just don't do that anymore because it's like they weren't making their money back on a lot of these other songs. But I remember like Arizona Zervis. He got like
crazy,
like $7 million.
And by the way, never had another fucking hit after Roxanne or whatever.
I think he had like a decently sized song,
but it will never be what the first.
I mean,
that
song went crazy fuck mode. You know, it's like, but now if you still look at the TikTok world, it's like every other week there's a ginormous record, like absolutely huge, and it is really, in my opinion, like social media dictates how popular you can get on your musical career more than ever now, in my opinion. It's like more content forward than it's ever been. And it's interesting. I think it's the most democratic the music business has ever been, which is amazing because it's like anyone can do anything. If you're smart, creative, quirky, cute, dope, funny, you can literally make money. It's crazy. You know, like I'm here sitting on this couch talking to you guys solely on the basis because my brain is just cooked. You know, I'm a moron. I grew up playing World of Warcraft, and I use that to my benefit. And I'm here. I have friends all across the world because I'm an internet kid, and it's beautiful. You know, it's like a fairy tale. You know what I mean? It's crazy.
When did you realize that rapping was going to be your vehicle to communicate and or like find a way out or something bigger than just Vancouver?
I mean, okay, so I made a song with my friends. We're chilling one day. My friend Dan comes over, and he's like, what are we going to do? And I was like, let's go smoke blunts with Seb. And we go over to his house, and Seb was like, yo, I just made this song last night. And I was like, all right, cool, what's this? And it was like terrible, but I was like, yeah, let's make a song. So we started smoking blunts, obviously just so cooked out of my mind. And
you've never made a song before this?
Never, no. And I was just giggling over a beat with like auto-tune. And at that exact moment, whether or not I was high or not, it was weird because I broke my back and shit, and I was like pretty depressed because just, you know, being like a 20-year-old, things either are floating super high or super low, and it's like you're finding your way.
How'd you break your back?
I was playing rugby. Which was funny because my dad was like, "Don't play rugby, you're gonna hurt yourself." And I was like, "No, Dad, I want to be masculine. I want to be dope."
Worked out well for you.
Yeah, it worked out well. Then, long story short, I was just like, "Holy shit, I want to do this for the rest of my life," and that was it.
But to be fair, like maybe there's a thing like rugby and your broken back brings you to a place of smoking fat blunts. You end up making your way to your friend's house to make a song. You giggle over this beat
for sure, without question. And then ended up making music. Fell in love. Girl broke my heart, and I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm just gonna throw all of my emotion into like all of this whatever I need to say, whether or not it's like poetic in a sense or in, linear with the form of emotions, because I say pee pee poo poo on songs that literally doesn't matter. But I just started pouring all of my stress into music, and I use it as an outlet. And I was like, why would I ever stop doing this? Because it makes me happy. And then at that point, I was like, hey, fuck, I'm just gonna start releasing it. Started releasing it with the boys, and I was the one out of the whole collective that we started that really was like super invested. I was like, holy shit, I love this. Like, this is a passion for me. And at that moment, I've never really felt like I had anything that I cared about, because I used to be an athlete that I was like, okay, well, as long as I can be an athlete and just work out, then I know that I have like a trajectory of something. But I didn't have anything after that because I felt like I lost everything. And then I was like never really too savvy in the book smart world. So academia was not my forte, and I was like, damn, like, I look at my sister and she's a fucking genius, like doing her PhD in psychology, and I look at my brother, he's like a creative genius, like arguably top 10 photographers in the world, and like can make music better than most people can, but he just does it for fun. And I was like, there must be something out there for me. So, sitting there being just like the teenager-esque, like, early 20s kid, I was like really driven to find what I wanted to do, and I found it. And it's cliche to say, but whenever you find what you want to do, you really just do it. Sure. I don't know how else to put it. It's like when you love something, you will just always do it. And I remember people being like, man, what the fuck y'all doing with the rap shit? Like, this is cringe. And I was like, I don't care. Like, it's dope. I believe in it. And I told my mom, I was like, yo, give me 4 years. So I went away to university, and I was like, give me 4 years. And then I ended up doing it in like 3. So,
hello, beautiful human. Every year, millions of gamers experience IGSS, inadequate gaming setup syndrome. Luckily, a cure has been found. You have to go beyond with the Vibrasonic mattress by Beyond Sleep. This thing has 6 built-in subwoofers, USB ports for charging, LED lights so you never stub your toe. It gives you an acoustic massage when you want it, plus adjustable degrees of comfort. This right here is the best way to game ever. Cure your IGSS today at BeyondSleepTech.com. What was it that made you keep believing, right? Because it was more than just Broke Boy Gang. It was really the belief in you.
Because I grew up playing MMOs, and MMOs it's very similar to the rap game, or it's very similar to like the online system of growing a fan base. Because, for instance, like you play a video game, you level up, you get to the end game, and then you keep on finding the most optimal gear. And I actually had someone super high up in the music industry say that they were like, yo, it seems like you play the game like a game. And I'm like, yeah, that's always how I viewed it. It's like, you got to pivot if something is changing in the industry. And, it's like, if there's a new piece or an item that you can wear that will make it easier for you, it's like, why wouldn't you just go find that first, and then you can like leapfrog kind of thing. And it's like, that's doing a collaboration, or like that's like leaning harder into TikTok, or like leaning harder into social media. And it's like, I've always just been really like, I guess qualitative in a sense, where I'm like, oh, if I can just see what someone did, and I'll just regurgitate it in my own way.
So how does that theory lead to your popularity in China?
Oh, that was just a complete fucking fluke. So I put a song out. So there's like this weird.
And you do it under bbnomula at this point, or is it BabyNoMoney?
No, yeah, it's bbnomoney, but bbnomula is like, I was just like trying to be quirky, and that's my name on Instagram, which is nuts because like no one really knows what my name is. No one.
Is it?
It's Alex.
Well, no. Like Baby No Money. Everyone calls me Bbnos, and it's like it's been like that, but it's funny because it's like kind of like a meme. Because people are like, oh man, I listen to your songs and shit. I like it. Like, Bbnos, you're sick. And I'm like, you don't listen to my songs because in every one of my songs, either I say my name or like there's a tag that a girl goes like, oh, Baby No Money. So it's like, it's if you know kind of thing. It's really, it's pretty sick.
I get it.
But China, total fluke, put a song out called Yoyo Tokyo. I don't know if I was popular prior, but the choreographer who was teaching this guy named Jackson Yee's 16th birthday choreographed dance, used Yoyo Tokyo in his 2-song performance, and I immediately went viral.
Sick.
And Jackson Yee is one of the TF boys, and the TF boys are like Kardashian level like famous. And yeah, it was sick. I don't know, like that's just.
Is that your first like brush of like actual fame and virality?
Yeah, that was for sure. I remember my Android when I got WeChat. I made a WeChat group.
Huge.
That shit started. I remember my phone was like, and I was like sitting there with my good roommate Kyle, and he saw everything kind of happen all at once, and he was just like, we were just sitting there looking at the phone, and we were like looking back at each other, and we were like, he's like, bro, this shit really happening, and I'm like, I guess, and it was just one of those beautiful moments that I was like, holy shit.
Do you realize that's kind of like a drug?
Oh, it is, totally. I mean, think about it this way. It's like all these kids that randomly post a video that's so authentic to them and that just it goes super mega dummy viral on TikTok, they're addicted for the rest of their life. It's a straight drug. It's like
and
very,
it's built
very
to be
bad.
that way, by the way.
Oh, unfortunately, yes.
Well, and I can make the case that like when you were experiencing that, then years earlier than that, it was an organic thing, right? Like you could not determine what was going to. Virality wasn't as man-made as it is today.
Oh
right?
yeah,
like,
definitely not.
You gotta understand, like TikTok learned from those moments and constructed this highly addictive thing.
Yeah.
To be built on that, right? Like the understanding of what you felt in that moment back when like it was an organic viral thing, and they crafted it in a way that they could literally pinpoint it and make you fucking feel like $1 billion. Like even if you look at new TikTok accounts, or at least for a certain amount of time, you're able to look at it and be like, oh wow, like the first one did fine, but the second one did amazing.
Yeah.
And then the third one did okay, but then maybe the fourth one did fine, and then they give them a burst of a drug. It's like fucking nuts. It's very calculated. Mm-hmm. It's very strategic.
I mean, it's interesting because it's like, I think a lot of companies are primarily focusing their like marketing department on like a psychological basis.
Totally.
Moreover than they ever have, because it's like now that they can infiltrate people's minds just over and over and over and over and over again.
Saturation.
Like, and if, let's say we said trolls 900 times during this conversation, first thing I open on my phone is trolls, which is dope because they're kind of sick. But but at the same time, you know, at what point is it like how are we supposed to know what we even like anymore? Because you could be in a car. Look, let's say you take 7 Ubers and they only are listening to the radio, and during this radio station, they say Travis Scott 15 times. Then you have Travis Scott. That's the first thing that you're going to see on the phone.
Totally.
It's just like, it's so interesting. Everything is so fabricated and like planted these days. But
when you think of that, does the thought of being an independent artist make you scared or happy?
I mean, I've worked with labels. They're useless. Completely, utterly useless. Like, it's unbelievable. No one has a fucking clue what's going on. Even like the people who have made billions and billions of dollars. Yeah. Like all these label execs, they're like the most clueless too. It's honestly kind of funny that the archaic music industry is going to become completely, utterly useless, and they're just trying to like hold on as long as they possibly can. But,
is that what you see as being inevitable? Is the destruction of major labels?
It's happened.
Yeah.
Like, didn't they just fire like half the industry?
There's a lot of big shifts, man. It's crazy. I think also like radio in this country is become less relevant today than it's ever been before. An erosion that starts, probably in like 2015, 2016, but like really starts to take effect come 2019. Numbers drop in a way that you'll never see in 2020.
Yeah.
People ride radio out of their habits. They never write it back into their life ever after the pandemic, and it's dead. I mean, and by the way, like that's a whole chart that's based on that. There's whole departments at record labels that operate that. It's crazy, and to think that radio in America has any relevance as it relates to crafting an actual hit, you're dumb. Like that's just not possible today. It's one of the pieces of the puzzle. It's gotten smaller and smaller, but like. Some make the case that that's the only thing that like record labels really had at their disposal, right?
Yeah.
And then you can make the case, oh well, they have all the relationships with the streamers, but like, not really. Not really.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's interesting.
I guess okay, in a sense where I get it, like I do, obviously if I could put an Edamame or a Lalala song out every single song, I'd be the biggest fucking artist in the world, but. It's just you can't. Like that's just the nature of being a human being. You're not perfect, right? So I understand marketing pretty damn well, I feel. And it's a lot of the time it's like frustrating because it's like people are getting like $150K a year to get paid to work at a record label as a marketing assistant or marketing this, and they're so fucking useless. It's like unbelievable how bad people are at understanding the industry. And it's like, yeah, I get it. You work a 9 to 5. You don't want to try on, but like, let's say like if I were to create my own record label and bring a song in, I'm going to work my ass off to get that song to pop off.
Yeah.
And it's like, no one does. It's just like, oh, let's go to a third party. Let's take a $10,000 budget, go to a third party marketing agency,
totally
pay the agency, and then not even proofread any of these videos or anything and just let them post it, and it just immediately will do nothing.
So at what point do you start realizing how this industry is really working and that independence is the best way to do it? Because, you make an album with Young Gravy. He was independent for a long time too, but as of recently isn't.
He signed in 2017 when he blew up. And I mean, truthfully, without him, I wouldn't have maybe stayed independent because I saw his frustrations. But at the same time, we're also two different artists, or we're two artists that like don't really make sense in the label industry. I probably make a little bit more sense in the label industry because I can make more poppy-esque sounding music. And there's two sides to it because it's like if I was dead broke and I didn't have a career prior and I had Lalala and I was like, oh shit, I need money. I need money. I want to like ensure that I have money if I don't think I have a career. But I had like 2.5 albums, 3 albums out. Yeah. So it was like, and I was making a good salary once a month off streaming. And I was like, okay, shit, like if I can just keep this going, let's just stay independent. And then Ari sold the song. We sold the song together. And I was like, okay, that's amazing. That's going to boost all of my other career. Like I should just stay independent. But I made a mistake because my first song out, or my first album out, I didn't spend a penny on marketing that album. It has 285 million streams. It's a big album. It's called I Don't Care at All. And I spent like $4,000 kind of thing, where now I know that was a mistake. Because if I signed that album to the label, they would have just rolled their money into a fire, and then it would have made the album ginormous. Because I was naturally so popular at that time on an algorithmic basis. Yeah. And that's like the only mistake I think I've ever made in my musical career. Another mistake is like, I don't love waking up and making TikToks. I like waking up, going for a walk and getting a coffee and thinking about my life. But if I were to grind every singular day, like to a point where I was only making content, I would be way bigger. Like way, way, way more popular. It's just like you have to find a perfect medium between like living life and working. And that's something that I've been working on a lot this year. But if I was an artist that needed money, I would have taken a label deal. I didn't. And then that's like been the only mistake that I could actually reflect on and be like, I wish I spent $400,000 on marketing this first album out after Lalala, because I would be way fucking bigger.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, because in that moment, it was one of the biggest songs.
Like anything I posted just pretty much went viral.
Yeah.
And it was because I was popular. You know, it's like, and that's when you have steam,
you got to capitalize.
You got to capitalize on it.
But you end up, history repeats itself, right? You have Edamame, but it's at a different time in the landscape of culture and society. So what do you learn? And how do you apply that learning?
I learned just make the best music you possibly can. That's it. You're just making a product for people to like. And 9 times out of 10, if you like it, someone else might not. Someone else will. Where, you know, it's like, I wasn't trying to make a pop record with Lalala. I wasn't trying to make a pop record with Edamame. I was just making something that I liked, and I just hit the pocket super fucking well. And that's it. As long as you try to make good music or just try to have fun, people will be able to see that it's like really authentic to you, and will be able to latch on to like who you are and the story. And, you know, I feel like that's something that my brand has always kind of grasped, is I will always take the route of like, I'm not going to post shit I don't want to post. I'm not going to make shit I don't want to make. And I'm not going to release shit that I don't want to release. So I'm just going to do me to the most of me and the best of me. So then people can be like, oh, I fuck with that guy. So it's like, for instance, I do a show, I have a meet and greet, and all of my fans are like me. They get me. They pull up, they say like dumb shit, and I'm like, oh, I fuck with you. And it's very rarely very awkward, because people know, or like the personality that I put out on the internet is like me. So people just know who I am already. And it's like, we're actually weirdly just friends. And they like my music taste because I release music like on the songs that I like. And yeah, it's like very interesting. It's like this weird, I like unfortunately would say like, I don't think I really have a parasocial relationship with my fans, but I feel like they get me. And it's like, that's off the basis of what I've built and just like who I am. It's like just some random ass dude that ended up making music because he fell in love with it. But
you have this independent steam again with Edamame. Like, do you learn from not capturing it the first time and like put marketing in it this time? Like,
oh yeah, we blew a bunch of money into this song, which was like, we spent like, I remember, oh, this shit pisses me off today. Fuck. I posted a TikTok with my ex-girlfriend at the time, and it was me going like this, putting filter on her face while she was asleep, and then giggling. And that did 71 million views.
What?
And then we spent $71,000 and got 1.2 million views.
On what?
TikTok marketing.
I just feel like you can't force virality.
No, you can't. And it's like, the thing is like, I remember when Gravy had Betty, I specifically remember the first 25 minutes he posted, he sent it to me, he's like, hey, yo, can you comment? And I was like, yeah, I got you. You know, just like, you know, brotherhood. And I was like, holy shit, this is going viral, bro. This song is going to be a hit. I promise you, just lean into it as hard as you possibly can. Yeah. That was like within the first 45 minutes. And then boom, he had a hit.
But you didn't get that with Edamame? Because that was a huge radio hit.
So Edamame, we started like the audio at a specific time, and it was like, I was like doing okay. I was like, okay, whatever, it's doing good. And then I remember my girlfriend was like, oh, let's go get some food. I was like, cool. So I took the music video clip from the very intro where it goes like, bah, bah. I posted it, came back, and it was like 600,000 likes in an hour. And I was like, oh. So I called my manager. I was like, hey, we need to change the audio and get this audio uploaded because it's going viral. And I promise you it'll pop. Because you can just tell immediately if something's going to pop.
Totally.
And it's cool, but it's also frustrating because, you know, I just released a song where I sampled La Freak by Chic.
It's a great song.
It's a good song. It's a good song. And I just remember being like TikTok gods just fucking blessed me one. And I posted the first TikTok, and I just remember being on a call with the boys, and we're like, boys, this is going to be a long haul. And, you know, it's doing great. It's like, it's probably one of the most successful songs I've put out, like, in a while that hasn't just gone stupid moron mode. So I'm not complaining, but it's like you can just tell if it's not going to work on social media that well, and you're just going to have to be infinitely more creative. And it's just like that's just the way it is. I don't know.
Yeah, that's just a lot to accept, that you can work so hard on something and within a second of posting it, the fate is determined. Or at least partially.
I mean, just make better music. That's what I think. It's just like, all right, well, let's just go back into it. And that's something that I've always been really good at, is just like putting the drive, like, you know, whipping my dick out and just keep working kind of thing. You know, it's like, oh, we got to bust a nut. Let's bust a nut and go back to the studio. And that's like kind of it. And, you know, it's not going to be easy, you know.
But should TikTok determine whether a song's good or not? I guess these days it does.
These days it does. It doesn't matter. Like, you know, what's the new Artemis song? It's like, I like the way you kiss me.
Yeah.
By the way, he releases just like, he only had a couple lines of that and had to finish it because TikTok demanded it.
I mean, same with that Jack Harlow song. I'm positive he like made the hook, uploaded that video, and then it went mega viral. And then he's like, ah, shit, we got to put this out.
The Fergie sample?
Yeah, the Fergie sample. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the story behind it, but it's like, that's also a way people can just tease. You can make a hook, tease the hook. It could be ginormous. You're like, ah, fuck. And then you're going to like, call every producer and writer and be like, we got to make the fucking verses fire too. And
It's scary.
Yeah, it's scary. But at the same time, it's like, it's also just like testing. So it's simple, it's easy, and it's free, which is something that people always overlook. And I remember I was having a conversation with some girl, and she was like, oh, like, you know, I need 50K marketing for my first single. And I was like, you're crazy. You're crazy. You want to put 50K in for a song that, like, realistically no one's going to hear unless the content is so unbelievably creative. I was like, why don't you just make creative content first? Or, like, come up with something funny or come with something like this rather than, like, putting money and burning it. And it's, I think my
Literally
cheapness.
burning it.
Yeah, literally burning it. My cheapness has definitely made me successful. Because I'm like, I'm not going to want to spend money unless it's like an art form. So like my music videos I spend money on because it's like a kind of vacation. I get to hang out with my guy Sherez, he's my director. And we like go to the island, do a little bit of acid, you know, shoot a music video. And it's like meditation kind of thing. And then I always walk out of it with something beautiful. And it's like art, like something unbelievably pristine.
But it's yours forever. A marketing budget literally is as fleeting as it's there 1 second, then it's gone the next.
Yeah, yeah. And it's there forever. It's evergreen. And it's like, I made something cool with money rather than being like, shit, all right, this TikTok account, I was like, hey, I'll pay you $2,000 if you can go do a video like this. Now that's fire. Wait, you don't want that? You don't want that?
But like the dance should start with you, sis. Like the idea of like, if you need a $50,000 marketing budget for your first ever single,
yeah, well,
you probably shouldn't be releasing music.
Definitely, that shit crazy. But I mean, each your own. If you can go get that money, go get that money. But you're not gonna make that money.
Ultimately, it's taken, like, even if you're getting that from a label system, like that's not just money coming out of the sky. That's your money. That's just long.
Yeah.
That's $50,000 longer before you get a chance to recoup or see something.
Well, I will say though, I don't ever take advances from anything, even my publishing deal.
Really?
Yeah, nothing. I remember too. I went to RCA right when Lalala was blowing up. I went to all these like meetings and
just to see.
Yeah, just to see what they had to say, and I was like, yeah, can we just do a profit split and we can start at $0 and you guys just spend like X amount of dollars non-recoupable? And they were like, you don't want like a bag? And I was like, no, I just want to see if you guys are able to do anything. And like, if I can incentivize you guys to make money immediately, why wouldn't you guys just want to do it?
That's a great approach.
But everyone was telling me, they're like, you gotta like pull money from them so they actually want to try. And I was like, it's a double-edged sword. It's the same fucking concept, really.
Oh, the idea of like they pay so much in, so then they are incentivized to pay it off by making you famous and generating money against it.
Yeah. But at the same time, it's just like, It's all the same.
But by the way, that's also worked to people's disadvantage, right? Like they spend so much money to grab an artist at a record label, and then they make this artist do everything for the first single. It doesn't go the way they wanted. They put all this money behind it.
Yeah.
And then they're like, okay, fuck, we overspent and we're going to put you on a shelf and you can work your way off that shelf.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. The record label system is...
It's a toss-up.
It is a toss-up. There's no question.
So when Edamame is in the Garfield trailer, did they just come straight to you for that?
Nah, so I have a sync dude on the master side.
Okay.
And then I have a sync team at Sony ATV. So I signed my publishing because I'd be stupid not to, because you literally just lose the money if you don't collect it. But I'm just on an admin deal, and it's super chill, and you know, I love my guy Will. He's a beauty.
Dude, great sync.
Yeah.
I mean,
Garfield.
that's a 7-figure sync.
Oh no, it's not that big. It's not.
It's in the trailer? How often are they playing the trailer? Are you fucking crazy? You can make fat money.
Well, it's a
Fat
buyout.
sixes.
It's a buyout.
Oh.
Yeah. Trust me, it's like, Edamame has made a ton of money on syncing for sure, but I haven't made like a crazy 7-figure sync. Nothing like that. Not even close.
Because some of them can. You get a Target campaign, you get an Apple campaign, you get a Google commercial.
You can get something crazy. I remember I got the Kevin Hart recently, the Kevin Hart movie too. And that was like a $3,000 sync, but it was like the first 2 minutes of the movie, and that shit spiked streams at like
That's huge.
2x my streams. I was like, all right, I'll take that.
Well, I think there's a difference between like you want like if you're in a movie, if you're in a TV show, right? Like that can re-spark a catalog, that can bring attention. But a commercial, God, that's good too, but because it's heavy saturation, but they're pulling different slivers of the record. So it's fascinating.
Yeah, I mean, I also fuck with Garfield. Like, who doesn't fuck with Garfield? Right?
Icon.
So yeah.
Does a song like that change the way you look at Edamame? You're like, this little bean made me so much money.
Yeah, you know, I knew this song was cool, but I didn't know it was going to be that successful. And like, I also just didn't know the world of syncing. Like, Edamame's, from my understanding, in the past like 5 years, I think it's like top 6 most synced songs or something like that. And it's amazing. I'm not complaining. Like, it's a goddamn blessing. But I just had no idea that there was like this side of the revenue stream of syncing.
It's nuts.
It's nuts. Like if you're a big sync artist, which is cool, because I live in a space where my music is really upbeat, and a lot of the time, like,
You'll get it.
Yeah, a lot of the time I mean, I get syncs. Like, I'm not complaining.
And by the way, you can get variety of things. They can they can just take an instrumental and sync it. They can rip your vocals and sync the beat. They can I mean, there's so much to work with.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't know that, like, I didn't really believe in this side of the music industry. Cause I've always been, people would hit me up and be like, hey, do you want to make this like sync song on spec? And I'd be like, fuck that. I'm not wasting my time. I don't care. I don't like doing things on spec, cause it's like, what's the point? That's like going on a date and getting friend zoned.
Can you
know
explain
what I mean?
to everybody what spec is?
So it's like a speculation. For people who don't fully understand that either, it's like I would meet up with a producer and we would have a brief saying like, hey, make a song based off pee pee and poo poo and this kind of an energy, and they'll like send you like an idea, and then you go ahead and make it, and you're going against like 100 other people. So it's like, why would I
waste time?
Why would I waste time? Why wouldn't I just make a really cool song, try to promote it, and then that song, it blows up, and then I win both ways.
Culture.
Exactly.
Sick.
Yeah, it's not bad. Syncing is it's a great form. I never really had seen the effects of it until Edamame.
Power of syncs are wild, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Especially when like they're attached to like, you know, that commercial is generating tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And the marketing campaign behind that one commercial is tens of millions of dollars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally. It like brand endorsements and sponsorships and shit like that. Like, I don't really like doing too many of them, because it's like, it doesn't really matter that much. But I did something for the Bank of Bbno in the earlier this year, and it was like, it was pretty fun. It was interesting working with like a organization, a company that like were stern on like things I could say, but I had to make a song for the bank about paying your bills on time, and it was fun. It was like a new experience, but I definitely like showed me a little picture of like working with an organization that isn't just me,
Totally.
where I have say in everything and I am the say. So I was like, God damn, I'm so happy I work for myself kind of thing, you know? Yeah, it's just it's a blessing.
So you being able to work for yourself, is that the reason why we have 3 baby gravies? And like you make these decisions solely on your own and you're doing things that fulfill you in whatever way.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the baby gravy shit, it's just like, I remember I sent him a message in 2016. And I was like, man, your music is so stupid. Like, your music's fried. I was like, I like you. And he hadn't shown his face at this time. And then we FaceTimed kind of right after. He had like 100 followers. I had like 70 or 120 followers on SoundCloud. And we just became friends. Like, we just like kind of got it. I feel like I was working with a bunch of people on the SoundCloud industry or the SoundCloud world, like, you know, just working, collabing with people. And we ended up getting on, I guess. I don't really know. And then we just became friends. And it's crazy. Like, I was having a conversation with him last year and I was like, dude, it's actually nuts what we've been able to do. Like, we're 2 morons that ended up just making funny music and being who we are on social media, and it like actually worked. Like, you know, I was standing in his like $4 million like casa in LA, and I was like, dude, like, congratulations, like, this is beautiful. We really did it, and it's cool. You know, it's like it's a dream come true for sure. I never expected to get to the place I'm at today, and nor did my parents. And I just got a front cover of the local magazine in Vancouver, and
Sick.
that was one of the greatest accomplishments of my life, for sure.
Huge.
So my parents are proud, and my brother and I love my family, and that's it. So
There's a lot of famous people from Vancouver.
yeah, there's quite a few for sure.
And Ryan
Yeah.
Reynolds from there.
Yeah.
I think Seth Rogen.
Oh yeah, Seth Rogen. So there was a week where Seth Rogen had so our like transportation system, like TransLink in Vancouver, is like all of like the buses, SkyTrains. There was like a week, it was like 420 week kind of thing where he was voicing all of like,
That's
"Ayo,
amazing.
get off the bus," and it was so sick. Like, I was like, damn, Vancouver really is really snapping for this one. But yeah, Seth Rogen, he's sick.
Canada's a pretty great country. I talk about it every time we have a Canadian artist in here because I love it, but
love
they
CanCon.
support artists like nobody's business.
Yeah, the Factor and
CanCon is huge.
the CanCon and just like
The tax
like
breaks. Are you fucking crazy?
tax break. I don't know.
Oh, dude, if you went to your government and said, I want a tour, they'd figure out how to give you money to fucking tour.
They give you money, but
In
it doesn't.
America, they
It doesn't
wouldn't
help
even
your
talk-
taxes.
Okay, they
But essentially that
subsidize
helps.
artists
Yeah.
in ways that like I've never seen a country subsidize artists.
It is amazing. I mean, I
They
have
support the
pulled
export.
tons of money from the Canadian government in order to promote my music and go on
Huge.
tour. Yeah, it's huge. It's totally huge. It's totally huge.
And then also on top of that, like the same way in Australia, they mandate that a certain amount of music is dedicated on streaming service and radio
Yeah.
to local artists. Something that doesn't exist in America.
No, it's amazing.
Right.
Triple J is great. I love Triple J so much.
Triple J, Kiss,
Yep.
Virgin. I mean, fucking A, man. Like there's a lot of radio stations that make that country flow.
Yeah.
I worked for what is it, Bell or something for 5 years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I learned the system pretty well.
Crazy. Yeah, I feel like something about Australia. Australia just functions great. I don't know why.
Australia, you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's very good.
I mean, I like Canada. Canada and Australia are very, very, very similar.
Totally. And you have a great relationship. There's a lot of
Yeah.
Canadians in
Well,
Australia. a lot of
Commonwealth,
Australia-
right? I think.
Yes.
Yeah, something like that.
And you have like student programs and shit. It's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it's
But
amazing.
I'll say this, like it's also very tiny. There's 24 or 28 million people that exist all over Australia.
Yeah.
To put that into perspective, there's 18 million people in Los Angeles metro alone.
Yeah, I know. It's
Right?
nuts.
Like we're talking about a civilization that could be amazing because the burden on the system is far less greater than just a metropolitan area here in America.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
totally.
it's a whole different world. But then you look at like Canada, right? Like, okay, I didn't work for Bell, I worked for Rogers, sorry, but Bell just got hammered for firing a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Justin Trudeau went fucking nuts on them.
Yeah.
You know, they just took a bunch of fucking government money to help them see their way through a turbulent time, and they ended up firing people. There's still just a love though in Canada for the art and an understanding of what cultural export really means.
Yeah.
You know,
Totally.
and like what that means for the country as a whole and the community that's formed.
But it is crazy because 1, 2, 3 of the biggest musicians, artists in the past 20 years.
Canada.
Canada.
But tell me, that's not by accident. I really don't. And I think people can make the case that it is, but you just don't establish a society that believes in artistic value and expression in a way that Canada does. And like, even from a parental standpoint, right? Like, dude, if I'm a parent here in America and I know that my son's school doesn't have shit for the arts, my government doesn't care about the arts, like, why am I going to have my son go after a career in something that, like, is literally based on a fucking TikTok thing and, like, the powers that be?
Mm-hmm.
When the reality is, like, I don't know, education for music. Maybe I'm speaking as somebody who's just American looking up, literally, but, like, I don't know. It just seems really advanced and special.
I mean, Canada definitely has its pros, without question. You know, just like on the basis of what everyone already knows about the stereotypes of Canada. But there's cons too. You know, it's like there's cons everywhere. But I will say, being a Canadian, you know, touring, especially in this day and age, is financially impossible.
Yeah.
If you want to do it relatively healthily. And, you know, like the buses are so expensive, production's so expensive. And if you're not doing anything more than 1,500 caps, you're not making any money. Like, literally not making any money. And you could have a tour that could gross like $1 million. And it's like,
it's all out.
Yeah. And it's all fully sold out. And it's like, okay, do I want to just throw a shitty show and not have any production and not make it like cool and make money? Or do I want to not make any money and show my fans that I actually care about my live performance? And it's hard. Like, you know, I'm doing 2K caps kind of thing, so I'm making money, but it's like, it's just like interesting. Until you're doing like 5K to 10Ks, you're literally making pennies. Like
nothing.
Nothing. It's super interesting.
Do you like touring?
Yeah, I do. I think I actually genuinely would like to say my live performance is pretty good in the raposphere. I've been to a lot of rap shows that I get kind of blown away with like the effort put in sometimes, and I'm like, damn, like, you know, it is what it is. I've also been to like some of my favorite like bands and shows like that, and it's just like, be charismatic on stage, please. Like, just show that you have the ability to perform, because 9 times out of 10, if you're used to the song that's a streaming song, it's not gonna sound like that. Unless you're fucking Red Hot Chili Peppers, which I saw in Denmark, and I was like, holy fuck, this sounds amazing. And, but yeah, it's just like, no one's that good. Like, really, like, unless you're Justin Bieber, which also crazy.
Yeah, he's amazing.
That shit live is nuts.
Yeah, we were just talking about that on our show.
That
He is
shit
amazing.
Crazy.
Yeah, he's one of the greatest performers of all time.
It's fucking perfect. It's crazy.
And proudly Canadian.
Yeah, proudly Canadian.
How do you approach writing lyrics? Because, like you said, your lyrics can be fun. They can make no sense. Like, you can really say whatever you want.
Yeah, I just like, well, okay, let's say I just think I just see trolls. It's like, what could I do with trolls? It's like Under the Bridge, getting money out of the bridge like troll. You know, it's like something like that, boom. Or it's like Lord of the Rings. I just like kind of take one aspect of something and then like spread it and then spread it even further. And then sometimes when I write it, I'm like, okay, how can I get this even stupider? And then a lot of the time I view it very, very like consonancy based and like how I know my mouth says things. And it's like, I have a little bit of a lisp. So the more S's I put in things, it'll sound different than a normal person speaking. And it's like, I make music very like mathematically. And it's like, if I have a bar, how much can I fill it up? So it's like, if there's a rhyming word on like the 3s and the 4s, then I'll just fill word, rhyme, word, rhyme. Or if I want to speed it up, rap on the 16ths, then I'll just do that. And it's like, that's just something, that's how I made music, is like, and if you listen to my music too, this comes from an insecurity, as I don't like leaving space on songs. And it's just an insecurity, because sometimes, like, unless the bar is so objectively sick, like I said one time, like y equals mx plus b minus e, I want slop. That I was like, I had to give some space to that, because I was like, okay, this bar is great. Like, it's a great lyric. No one would have said that, genuinely. So I was like, okay, cool. Said that, and then I added like a slop emoji that I layered and harmonized, and then we like auto-tuned and like put a bunch of effects on it to emphasize that lyric was great. That was the name of the song, and pretty much like everything when I play the song, that's what everyone sings. So It's like kind of knowing that you made it, like you cooked a good lyric, and then just playing off that, and then filling up with other shit. I don't know. I don't really know how I write music. It just kind of comes to you, I guess.
Well, like, does the mathematical strategy come in the way of self-expression or like authentic self-expression if you're focused on filling a formula?
It's just how I look at shit. I don't know. I'm like my dad's run a business for so long, and he's so by the books, like does his accounting on paper. Like he's a psychopath. I love my dad, don't get me wrong, but holy guacamole. And we're just like the strategy is just like A, B, A, B, A, B always. Like we take safe steps always. It's just like how I look at it. I don't know. It's like a loading bar. You know, you got to fill the song up.
But is this safe? Sorry, you go.
No, I was gonna say, so you have a song like Little Freak. Do you go into that saying like, I'm gonna write about something, or you just start writing whatever sounds fun and what sounds good to you?
It's always whatever sounds good.
Whatever sounds good.
Yeah. Unless it's like I'm depressed, and then I have a couple like ballads, and I have I have like almost an EP, like 10 songs just sitting that are like more sing song, whatever you want to call that shit. That it's just like heartfelt shit, like genuine heartfelt shit that I'm like going through a breakup or something. I'm like, boys, I got to get in the studio and say something. You know what I mean?
So not stupid like the other stuff.
I mean, it is stupid because the whole time I'm giggling my ass off, being like, I miss you, blah, blah, blah. You know, it's like, it's stupid to me. But at the same time, it's just because I don't take myself too serious to a point where like, that lyric means so fucking much to me.
But it does mean so fucking much to you because you're expressing it.
But I'm expressing, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's kind of just like having a good conversation and just letting things out, whether or not the things are important, right? So, yeah, I just write whatever and say whatever. But it really comes from what sounds good.
Like, what does this mean? And my dick got her cheesing because I'm semi-Swiss.
I don't know. It's well, you know how like Swiss cheese
Has holes in it?
has holes in it. Dick hole. Cheese.
Make her cheese in.
And then it's a
'cause
double
making her
smile.
smile.
It's making her smile. It's a double entendre, yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to English class. English 101.
English. I was actually thinking about starting like a like kind of like a genius like textbook class of like teaching stupidity to people and like having like a small little like bit about doing this, but I haven't found like a whiteboard in my apartment yet, so
That's the only thing holding you back.
it's really the only thing holding me, and like the effort I want
makes
to
sense.
not put into it kind of thing. But
How often are you writing music?
this year I told myself, because last year I did 2022 I did 136 shows. 2020 I did like 100 shows.
Holy shit.
2023, sorry. This year I've been writing music since November. I've written like 100 songs. And I have about 8 that I want to put out that are the singles, or like 6 that I want to put out of the singles. And then I'm making an album with Ari, which will probably do like 20, and then like join all like the best parts together and just make it like an amalgamation of ridiculousness. But yeah, I've been writing music a lot this year. It's actually really amazing. I think I'm the happiest I've ever been.
Who is Ari?
Oh, Y2K, sorry.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I forgot his name was Ari.
Well, it's just because like you're Alex, the Ari, then there's Matt, and it's just like you guys have real names, but people just know your artist names.
Shit, man, we're real people, man.
Y2K is a special one.
Yeah,
Is
he
his hair still really long?
Yeah. He's been working out a bunch too. He's kind of jacked.
No way.
Yeah, he's kind of jacked.
Because
now.
when he came on the show, he was like
He was
twiggy.
pinner.
Yeah.
He's still kind of a twig.
Yeah, but like he gave like
He was like twiggy.
no offense, like you gave hella nerdy energy, but I appreciate
He's still
it.
a fucking nerd.
Cool.
Well, I mean, we're both nerds.
You're internet
That's-
guys.
Yeah, we're internet guys. We really get along. So it's like, but it's interesting too, because when we first started making music, you know, I've actually seen him grow. I'm sure he's seen like emotional maturity from me too, and it's like really cool to have friends that we started as a business, obviously, and we started as business partnerships, but it's like, I would say like, whatever happened to us via Lalala, we are real friends.
Yeah.
And it's like, if I could call him up any given time of day and be like, hey, I really need this from you, he would do it, and vice versa. So it's like,
If you think about it, you guys rode with each other through something that neither one of you had experienced success like that before.
not many people experience that.
Ever.
And I remember the day was blown up. I was like, I remember I was sitting in my room, like on the ground, like trying to market it even more. And I put my phone down and I kind of looked up and I was like, thank fucking God. You know, like I was like, I worked too hard for this shit. So I was ready for it, but I didn't know what was going on. Like I just didn't. I chomped a bit of the internet. Like most people know that song. You know, a lot of people fucking know that song. And it's crazy because like, I just never would have expected it. Even though I was working my ass off. But it's really like when you're hanging out with that girl, like 50 dates or something, and you get that first kiss, you're like, oh man, like it feels so right. You know, it feels amazing. It feels like it's like, or when you're crushing super hard in that infatuation period, and you're like, things are so good, things make sense, and it was like that. It was like a 5 years of that in one day, and I was like, holy shit, like I fucking did it. And, you know, it went gold super fast. And I was like, dude, this is craziness. So, like, we just went diamond in France.
That's crazy.
I texted Ari. I was like, bro, we fucking diamond, bitch. And he was like, that's dope. It doesn't mean anything, but that's dope. And I was like, yeah, that's dope. So,
It's huge.
yeah, it's super cool.
It's incredible. By the way, you can listen to all of Baby New Money's music. It's on Amazon Music. It's all waiting for you. There's a link below. What are you thinking?
How do you get the Freak Out sample cleared? It seems like a tough one to get cleared.
So Sony ATV, Will sends me like a playlist of like all these songs that are like kind of owned under the Sony scope. And they were like, I was like, how hard would any of these be to clear? And he's like, this is kind of the situation. Like, if you want to use them, just let me know ASAP and then cut the song and then we'll try to go get it cleared. So I made that song in like November. Then we ended up getting it cleared January 4th. So I made it.
You know the date.
Yeah, well, I know the date because it was the day I was going back to LA for the first time this year. And then I just remember dropping my dad's car off to go get like a speaker system or some shit. And I got a call and they were like, yeah, he cleared it. He's going to take like 75% of the publishing, but you're good. And I'm like, dude, fuck yeah, let's go. I was like, I don't even care if you took 100% of the publishing.
Who's he?
Nile Rodgers.
I was going to say, is that who we're talking about?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, and I was like, all right, shit. Nile heard the song. He fucks with it. Let's go. So, yeah, but Will's my guy at Sony, and he told me, he was like, yeah, like, honestly, dude, like, supposedly Nile is like a large advocate of sampling, large advocate of like music copyright and ownership and like rights. So he was like, don't even worry about it. Like, it's pretty much a guarantee clear. But I was like, I don't know if it was you know, nothing is clear until it's clear.
And they still have to listen to it. There's a lot of channels.
Yeah, totally. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I just made the song. It was like very simple. And it was crazy too because there's 64 freak outs in it in our recording because we didn't want to give any masters, so we just had to re-record it ourselves, and it took us like 6 hours to get that right. Is that nuts?
So you're singing that?
It's me and Diamond Pistols Christian, yeah.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Because it sounds like identical.
Yeah.
Like
You
we
never would've
like
known.
we like matched the cues. Like we were working super hard on it. Like
Well done.
Yeah, it was sick. It was
Well,
sick.
because if you use the actual version of it, 100% goes.
Well, no, not 100%, just the master. So publishing is just like the interpolation / usage of the thought of what that song is. Whereas like if I was just to copy and paste, like I might be sampling Kids in America or Kids of America, and if we copy and paste it into the song, then that's use of the master itself. So we have to give master royalties too. So, which I want to do that because the hook on that song is just so infectious.
We're the kids
In America. Oh. And then the yeah. It's just so up and fun. So we might just use it because I don't think recreating it would really do anything. And it's like at this point, I don't need to make money off my music. I'd rather make money from all the other ancillary avenues of streaming or of my musical career. So it's like the bigger, the better the song is. That's all that matters.
Yeah, in that moment, you could take the loss because you'll win in other areas.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you think you're more of a business operator and owner rather than an artist? Or is it equal parts?
I'm creative for sure. There's no question. I know that. I allow myself to freely think on just anything, and I like doing things that I come up with. But I run my shit tight. Like I run my shit like a tight ship. My dad, you know, growing up as an immigrant, he never really trusted anyone. So I just I run my business tight because I never really trusted many people growing up because that's what was distilled in me, right? So I was like, if I'm gonna do this, like I'm gonna learn the business through thick and thin. And my dad showed me so much shit. Like without my dad, I would not be nearly as successful. There's no question. But I made mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes.
How it goes.
But I like the business side of it. Like I like being on calls. I like courting deals. If I didn't know about it, I would feel more worried because I know who I personally am. It's like me being in the know of like what exactly I'm getting and the intricacies of the lawyer jargon and like the intricacies of like how clauses can just like manipulate a contract to pretty much basically fuck you. I wouldn't be able to get the best deals for myself because I wouldn't know what I'm shooting for. So like I have some of the craziest deals in the world because I'll just solely on the basis of me understanding that if you don't ask, you're never going to get it. And like a lot of the time if you have leverage, you just get what you want. And it's like no one cares. And that's also just going back to the note of labels falling off. They just keep falling off further because they keep bending over, and then because they don't have an opportunity, they don't have a choice.
It's true.
One of the worst label meetings I ever had was at Island. Don't remember the guy's name. Shouts out Island.
How
But
long ago?
this was like during Lalala. We're just chilling, talking, and I'm like, yeah, like realistically, this is kind of what I want. And this guy leans in. He's like, if this is me, motherfucker leans in. He's like, bro, you got leverage. Like, no bullshit. Like, whispers it in my ear. And I look at my lawyer and I just burst out laughing. And I'm like, all right, done with this. And I just like walk out.
Really?
I was like, that was awkward. Like, it was weird. Like get out of your head, man. And it's just the way it is. Like, some weird, creepy shit, I guess. But at that moment, I was like, I flew in the day of, and we did a red eye, and that was like my first red eye ever. And I was like, damn, man, like, just signed the Lalala contract, like my life a movie. But then that happened. I was like, holy fuck, I hate this. And it was just interesting, you know. It's like that's just the way people act sometimes. It's like I can't rip on the guy. Like he was obviously just getting the point across that I had leverage. He just did it weirdly. But you know, read the room sometimes, I guess.
Wild.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Baby Gravy 3 is waiting for you on Amazon Music. But we have a new album on the way. And then you've had Bag or Die, you have Eat Your Veggies, Recess. All of it exists on Amazon Music.
Yeah.
Quite the discography, brother.
It's pretty long. It's definitely pretty long. But it's crazy too, because in the rap world, like top rappers are dropping like a project like a month.
It's true.
You know, it's like I don't make that much music. You know, I've been in rooms with people who make music real fast. I saw Soulja Boy make 5 songs in like 7 minutes.
That's crazy.
It was.
How are any of them good?
One of them was like his recent, or like one of the biggest songs that he had since like in 5 years. It was like, I got the new drip. Like that song. That's all I know of the song. But yeah, it was. I was like, oh shit, he's making this shit, and it's fire. But like, also, I don't care if it's not good, because I love Soulja Boy. Everyone loves Soulja Boy. Like he's an enigma. You know what I mean? And I remember he popped out of the booth. And he had like 2 blunts in like both fingers, and he had a bunch of chains on. I was like, God, this guy is so fucking cool. And he's like, you fuck with that shit? I was like, yeah, that shit hard. And it was all of his homies. They were like just hotboxing like a massive studio, like a big studio. It was like fully hotboxed. Like it was. I smelled like shit afterwards. And just a cool experience.
Do you feel like a rapper?
Me?
Yeah.
I like make rap music, but I think I make more pop music. Yeah. You know, I'm a funny guy. I feel like rappers a lot of the time are kind of funny. Do I feel like a rapper? I don't know, man. Like, I take everything with a grain of salt. I just feel like a normal dude that just makes music. It's like, I don't know.
Also, like, what does it mean to be a rapper today? Like, I think it's also different than what it meant to be a rapper when Soulja Boy was like figuring his shit out and like establishing the cool that you witnessed in that room.
Yeah, I don't know. I just like, if you are, I feel like if you're making rap music and you're like the purest form of yourself, then you are a rapper. Because the one thing that I will say is like, when I started making music, my confidence just skyrocketed. Whether or not it was good, whether or not people were giving me validation, discarding all of the validation. I remember specifically just being like, oh, I'm like expressing myself. I'm expressing Alex. And like, I can be Bbno Money. I don't have to just be Alex all the time. But I wanted to make my brand similar to me because I'm fucking lazy. I don't want to try to be someone else. But, you know, it's like, I remember I was having a conversation with these guys from Vancouver, and he was like, how is it like being you? I don't know what do you mean. He's like, I have to wake up every day and like try, like put on this outfit and do this and like be someone else. And I'm like, well, sometimes I'm like, I would rather just say some crazy shit and know that I'm not being me. But then it's like, it just goes against the grain of what my morals are and my ethics.
Well, people are also going to like connect you to that no matter what, right?
Exactly.
They don't see a separation either.
Yeah. Well, especially in this day and age, because I almost like prime myself for it, because unless you're a AAA artist, you have to be on social media pretty much.
Yeah.
And if you're not your authentic self, no one's gonna fuck with you. It's gonna come across,
They
right?
can tell.
So, yeah, it's just, I don't know. I feel like I got lucky just prepping myself for the position I'm in, I guess, if that makes sense.
You briefly mentioned that you were taking acid and making music videos. Does acid play like a big role in the way you create?
Nah, I don't alienate drugs. Growing up in Vancouver, there's a massive drug culture. We actually have, unfortunately, the highest per capita of like heroin usage in like a 4-block radius downtown East Side.
Oh wow.
So I'm actually throwing a music festival that all the proceeds go to the downtown East Side Women's Center.
Oh, that's amazing.
Because yeah, it's fucking sick, dude. I pulled in like $250,000 worth of sponsorship too.
Holy
And like
shit.
all my homies doing it for free. Freddie, Yost Klein, Gravy,
Wow.
like Jungle Bobby, all my like local friends too. And yeah, I'm just flying them in. Like everyone's just doing it on the solid. It's gonna be like medieval themed. Like I'm fucking stoked. Like
That's amazing.
it's like to the point where I have family reach out to me, be like, hey, can I get tickets? And I'm like, no, buy the fucking ticket.
It's going to charity.
Buy the fucking ticket. So and being able to confidently say that to people, you know, it's like I'm doing something good. And I'm not like, oh, saviorism kind of thing. I'm just like, actually, like I've always wanted to give back to my city, and it's like, why wouldn't I do that? Now I actually have a platform, and it's like, I don't want to perform in Vancouver because Vancouver is a bunch of haters. They're just gonna hate someone that isn't Drake level. So it's like, I'll just do it for like fucking show for the people. Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's amazing. I'm really, really happy. It's been a lot of work, but it came together pretty well, and yeah, it's happening next month, and it's something that I can look back on and be like, cool, it happened, and maybe do it once a year. My goal is to have, back on the acid tip, my goal is to have a dubstep tent that is in the middle of the tent, there's a jousting arena, and then the dubstep tent is it's like an oval, and then they're jousting in the middle with like a podium dubstep, and everyone's headbanging. How fucking lit would that be?
What you have a thing with like medieval, like this is not the first time, right?
I just love fantasy, like video gaming, fantasy shit, like top down hack and slash, Diablo 2, World of Warcraft. That's just like my favorite games.
You're a video game guy.
Yeah, totally.
You approach this industry like a game.
Yeah, exactly.
Much in life approached through the lens of a video game.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I'm excited for the festival. I'm excited for the future, and life's a movie, boys.
Grab some tickets, by the way, if they're still available. Are they? Can people still buy?
See, weirdly, it's like not selling that hot, which is surprising because it's.
I'll get to work.
Yeah, but I also haven't promoted it that much. But I'm gonna start promoting it like heavily, and like I think we're like 85% sold, which is
that's good.
Well, no, it's gonna sell out. I'm not worried, but like I was expecting, I was like confident. I was like, bro, charity, bro. People are gonna obviously want to get behind this. And then they were like, the processing fees are too expensive. I'm like, for fuck's sakes, guys. Like, so, but it is what it is.
Well, we're going to put a link below. If you want to go, if you're in Vancouver next month, go. Support. Link below. Also a link to listen to all of Baby No Money's music. What are you thinking?
My last question is, how do you get Charlie or MoistCr1TiKaL in the music video? Because he doesn't seem like he does much outside of his own videos.
He kind of messaged me and was like, yo, and I was like, yo. And I was like, how are you? He's like, I'm good. And then I just was like, you fuck with this song? Just randomly. I was like, check the song I made recently. It's fire. Because I was like, I feel like this guy fucks with just music. He fucks with everything. And he's like, yo, this shit's so fire. He's like, do you ever want me in a video or anything? I was like, what about, do you want to be the whole video? And he's like, yeah, sure. And that was it. Like, wow. He's a really nice guy. Him and his team, they're like the sweetest fucking people. Like, so Charlie, he never showed his face for the first like 10 years of his YouTube career, like 7 years of YouTube career, and he donated every single penny that he made until he showed his face, pretty much.
Wow.
Because he didn't want anyone to know and like it to track back to him, so he was just donating every single penny. He's like one of the nicest dudes I've ever met. Like so calm, collected, just smart, willing to do anything. And yeah, he's throwing like an anime party soon. And I was like, bro, you do the video, I'll perform for free. I got you. And he's like, all right, bet, deal. And then yeah, he's been dancing a lot. And during the music video, he was like, yo, man, let's go party. Like stay like 5 days and we'll go party. And yeah, he's just a good fucking guy.
Did you fly to Tampa for that, right?
Yeah,
Is that where he's from? Florida?
He doesn't leave Tampa.
Well, people were shocked to see one, him outside of his room, and two, you in his room.
Yeah.
People were like, he let someone in there?
Yeah, it was sick. Being in that room, I was like, whoa, this is dope.
Yeah, you're like, that's not a green screen, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
And that was just off of a DM.
I just texted him, yeah. We've done shit in the past, and I was just like, damn, like, you know when you work with people and you're like, that sucked. And then sometimes you work with people and you're like, I really like this guy. Like I could have been friends with him in high school. So my first experience with him, I was like, damn, like I remember my first experience with Gravy too, and I introduced Gravy to all my friends, and every single friend of mine was like, damn, if he was in our friend group in high school, like that would make sense. So it was like similar with Charlie too, and his whole like team and family, and it's cool too because he brought all of his real friends up that he had, and all of his real friends, they just rode into the sunset together, and they all just work on the project, and they're all just like really beautiful, nice people, and it's a very wholesome operation they run over there for sure.
That's special.
Yeah, it's super special. Yeah, he's an incredible dude.
Baby No Money's music is waiting for you. Go listen. Come on, get to work. Link below. Amazon Music. You good?
Yeah, no, thanks for coming. I know you've been here for like 5 hours.
Yeah, you're amazing, man.
It's all good. I mean, honestly, I was like, you know what? Now I have some time to relax and just do nothing. So it's cool.
You walk around.
Yeah, I did 11,000 steps.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're saying you went to the park, took some photos.
Yeah, took some photos. Nice, like artsy photos.
I didn't even know there was a park.
I don't know where it was, like a couple blocks,
there was
miles.
a scheduling mistake, and he showed up 3 hours early.
Showed up like 7 a.m.
Usually I'm
That's
like,
crazy.
look,
I'm so sorry.
and I came 40 minutes before 8.
Yeah,
I was like,
crazy.
Well, you're always early. I know that about you.
Yeah, I'm always early. I'm never late. I don't know what, if it's called performance anxiety or like whatever type of anxiety it is, but like I hate being late. I remember I was a minute late to a date one time, and I was like the whole time
through it.
I was like, yo, I'm so fucking sorry. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, that might be like my largest flaw is I get like anxious, like bite my nails, like rip off my nails.
Do you go to therapy?
Yeah. But like, it's not something I usually talk about because it's not bad. You know, it's not a bad habit.
Yeah, time is an incredibly valuable thing, right? It's the most valuable asset in the world. It's the only thing you can't get back. But you shouldn't be in a place where being a couple minutes late, if you happen to be, would throw the entire rest of your plan.
It's not like that bad. It's just like, you know, it's something that I think about.
I'm always sitting in the parking lot 40 minutes before I need to get somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like I can't be late. I'd rather be an hour early than a minute late.
Yeah, and it's just like, if I was an employer and I hired someone and they're late, fire them immediately. It's just don't fucking be late. Like it's one of the easiest things to do, and it just shows that you respect someone's time so much. And it's like, that's it. That's all. And if you respect someone's time, whether or not you work hard or not, Doesn't fucking matter. But if you respect someone's time, you're not wasting someone's time. I remember I did a photo shoot with like one of this like very successful photographers. He showed up 5 hours late. And I was like, look, man, past the hour, like, why did you even come?
Yeah.
So.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
I can give people grace, right? We have guests all the time that are 30 minutes late, hour late sometimes, whatever. There's a grace within a window, but 5 hours is obnoxious.
It was obnoxious. Like, I was like, what is the point of even texting me? Like, now you look like a moron. But, and he didn't really give me a good reason. He was just like, oh, I was partying. So I was like, all right, it is what it is.
Yeah.
But.
Did you do the shoot?
Yeah, we did the shoot.
Wow.
But I don't hate him at all. It was just like, damn, like, I can't believe that happened.
Disrespectful.
I mean, hey.
I got a text this morning at 7 a.m. Yo. And I'm like, damn, it's early.
We're so sorry.
No, it's not your guys' fault. It's literally my team's fault. It was funny. James, my manager, sent a screenshot of 11 a.m. And I read that text 8 a.m. when I was like trying to check in it, and I was like, and I sent in the group text. I was like, hands on sight. No, like, what the fuck? But it's totally good. I mean, I get more of the day. So.
More of the day.
Yeah.
And Amazon Music's here for you. There's free coffee. There's pastries.
There was pastries and free coffee, but I intermittently fast, so I was like, damn it,
fuck.
I can't eat anything yet. So.
We just tempted you.
Well, what time is it now?
Oh, you're fine.
It's midday. 12.
Ah, yes, it's time to eat. I'm gonna go steal a bunch of snacks.
Go through. Baby No Money. We really appreciate you.
No, thank you guys. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah, you're a fucking icon. Thanks for being here.
No, thank you guys.
Baby No Money, everybody. Woo.